Oh, we live.
We live?
We live.
We
What's going
live?
on, good people? Myra McLean, first in the building. How you doing?
Hey, everybody.
Was this Raketa? Raketa
Yeah,
Harrison?
yeah, yeah.
Raketa
Wait a minute. Oh, man, I got all kinds of things going on over here. All right,
you good?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Myra McLean, she says, good evening, everyone. God bless you all. God bless you too on this beautiful evening. Um, I was outside, Myra. Listen, because something I got about look for the first time, I think since I've been gardening, I perfected the timing on my flowering brassicas, cauliflowers, broccoli, and I got them all out perfect timing, right?
Hmm.
And I looked in my garden today when I was cutting the grass, because y'all know that was my first love. I cut the grass. And I looked over at my brassicas and they have been eaten on down to the stem.
Oh,
And I
man.
said, and look, I've been my little dog Kaiser, he's been jumping in the flower beds this year for some reason, the garden beds for some reason. You know, I said, hey, no, no, no. And I go and I look and I'm like, man, I can't tell if this is a bird, a caterpillar. So I went out this evening, this beautiful evening, with my light to see if it was a caterpillar. If y'all don't know, there's your first tip for the night already, right? If you got something eating and munching and you can't find them, usually those caterpillars, they'll come up during the evening or early in the morning, they eat and then they go back down into the soil and they hide for the rest of the day.
Right,
So I went
right.
to go see if I can catch the bandit red-handed.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything out there. So I think it's a combination of the birds slash maybe even my dog. But I'm not sweating it because I dropped plenty of seeds. And to be honest, I was running out of space and trying to figure out where I was going to put things.
Hmm.
So, nature's selection kind of took care of it for me. I only have to worry about, I'm like, well, I'm not going to cry over spilled milk.
Right. So, this is what I do when I see something. And I had a clip on the video I put up today, but I took it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it up. But he's in the soil. Get your little stick and just start stirring up the top of the soil.
Yeah, I did that. I did that.
He's,
I look for them during the day, but
yeah,
I'm not convinced it's a caterpillar.
really.
I'm not convinced. I don't know. I'm not
Oh,
convinced
they
it's a
sneaky,
caterpillar.
man. They
They
sneaky.
sneaky, they are, but then there's this is the reason why I'm not convinced it's a caterpillar because there's
Oh,
chunks of leaves on the mulch. Like I can see pieces of, and usually when it's caterpillars,
yeah,
you're not going to see pieces of leaves and foliage torn off in the actual.
that's true. That's true.
So that's why I'm like, this might not be a caterpillar. This might just be something else getting their little munch on.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not, I'm gonna leave a couple plants out there because they don't look like they're completely done. They actually have new foliage coming through the middle.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna leave a few out there, and then I'm just gonna swap some other ones out with my second round of brassicas that's about to
Yeah.
go out anyway. So I'm not gonna sweat it. And the tomatoes and peppers they're about to come out in the next couple of weeks because we're finally clear on the frost. So they said they
Yeah.
got an echo. So well,
Hey,
one person
Maria.
said they had the echo.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Let me
you
see.
gotta find out who that is. Let's
Well, I
see.
got echo cancellation on. So oh, you know what? That was probably in the very beginning. That's
Oh,
probably in the
yeah,
very when you had your
yeah,
uh yeah, that's probably
yeah.
what that was.
Yes.
Y'all let us know if y'all still getting the echo, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris say something is hitting his plants too.
Chris, oh, where Chris? Chris,
Chris,
where you at?
Chris, back to our
Chris,
roots. No,
what's up,
no,
man?
he's
I need
not
to
in the
send you.
chat.
Oh, okay. I need to
He's
send
not
you
in the
some
chat.
pictures, Chris.
Yeah,
I need to send you
he's
some
not in
pictures
the
of
chat.
the little ones. The
Yeah.
a little turf, Prince Turf. He up and walking around. You
Yes.
know, Princess Turf. She's so demanding, just like her mama. Nah, let me stop. She's demanding like me, like the Palmers. We
Yeah,
say she got that Palmer juice in her right now. So
yeah. So once you go through the chat, nephew.
Yeah, let me get on some people. Myra, we already know she was first in the building. Raketta Harrison came in right behind her. That's a new name for me too. Nice to meet you. Happy
Mhm.
Mac in the building. What's going on, man? I know that name. Make Mike's Chaotic
Yeah.
Gardening, Chaotic
Yes.
Gardening. Okay,
Yes. You got to
you
check
doing
him
over
out,
there?
man.
Mm. Man, between these two kids, though, the
I
way my
know.
bank
I
account
know.
set up,
I know. I
I'm,
know. So
I'm gonna see if I can get over
Chris
there though.
say he would love to have some pictures of the
Yeah,
baby.
yeah, I got you, Chris.
Yeah.
If I don't get you this evening, I'll get you tomorrow sometime.
Yeah.
Misha Nicole, hello everyone. She says, hello to you
Wait,
as
where
well.
is
Maisha Nicole.
Yeah, Maisha. Maisha.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
she's one after Maria Graham.
Yeah, I see her. I see her.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm glad I read that. Maria Graham. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Maria.
How are you? Happy Mac got that. Ashley Tilson. That's new. Tillison. Tillison. Ashley Tillison. Good
Yeah.
evening. Good evening to you. Cassandra's South Fulton Garden. How you doing, Miss Linda? Turf Therapy and Chat. How you
Hey.
doing? You all right? Tomorrow Wednesday, we halfway done with the week. You know, we gonna have some good weather over here in Germany. So I'm looking forward to grilling and getting
Oh,
the kids outside and enjoying some nice weather because it's been a cold, dark winter.
well, man, we are really having great weather. And of course, I don't know if you know that the LSU women kind of shook up stuff the other day.
Just a little bit. I
Just a
only
little.
know that I only know that because of my man Polo. He's big into sports. Fun
Yeah.
fact about turf, I'm not really that into sports. My dad
Oh,
wasn't. I like we watch sports, but it's more so like uh,
just for a
uh
family thing, honey.
yeah, yeah, it's a communical
I
kind of
love
thing.
sports. I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah, yeah,
LSU women just,
yeah.
yeah. But
GT Junior grows
anyway,
it, Alaska. What's
yeah.
going on, brother? Good to see you, man. I saw you in Broke's chat the other day. Um, who else we got? What is your zone, Turf? My zone is that's GT Junior asking me that.
Mhm, mhm.
My zone is like a 7A, 6B. But that just equates to my average frost freeze dates, right? We know that about our zones, and if you don't know, we'll get in a little bit of that tonight on one of our topics when we talk about what you can drop right now as far as seeds.
Okay.
But my growing season is short like yours, GT. It's a short growing season. So although when we look at that grow zone and we know what our average low temperatures are and high temperatures are, that doesn't really equate for the length of my growing season because it's a shorter growing season.
I'm laughing at
Um,
Chris, man. Chris is amazing.
Morris Family Studio. Hey
Hey, my
T,
baby.
hey
Hey.
T, Turf and Soul family. I'm very happy to be here. We happy to have you.
Yes,
We
baby.
happy to have you, Morris
Always
Family
happy to
Studio. I
see
hope the
you.
whole family there too. Got us up
Yeah.
on the big screen, right? Put us on the big screen.
LSU. Okay, I ain't gonna do it. Yeah, but Morris family, they New Orleans. She know.
Myra McLean says that there was still an echo.
Is it?
Is everyone else still getting an echo? Can we get more than one person to tap in on that?
Yeah,
No echo. Okay, so Morris Family Studio said no echo. So
yeah,
Myra,
it's
maybe
probably was
something.
at the beginning when I was having a little problem, but I'm good.
Yeah, yeah. And I got my headphones on because I don't want to
Yeah,
wake the kids. So,
right, right. Plus,
so
I hear
we
you
should,
talking like this,
we
you
should,
know.
yeah, got to keep the
Don't wake
voice
him up,
at the
you.
right
Don't wake him up.
at the right octave. Anybody got those kids? Y'all know how it is when the kids go to sleep. You start tiptoeing at nighttime. During the day, I do whatever I want, but at night,
Mm-mm.
tiptoeing and
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
get sleep and stuff. Um, who else we got in here?
We
Roro
have
Latrice,
Romo.
how you doing? Hello,
Hey,
Miss Linda Turf and everyone in the chat. How you doing, Roro?
hey, baby. Hey, honey.
How you doing? Yeah, y'all good? Yeah, okay, cool.
Oh,
Everyone's speaking to each other. We want to see the kids turf. Well, the channel's about me, and I try to. I had one video last year where Lil Man was in it, Prince Turf, he was in it, and people may think I'm weird for this, and that's fine. I get that we're in the age where we share everything on social media, Sometimes, you got to keep something for yourself, right?
Right.
And the world that we live in today, once I put it out there, I can't take it back. I'm not saying that I'm like concerned about what I would put out there about my kids, but something's got to stay sacred. And they're at the
Right.
age right now that they're so vulnerable and so incapable of doing anything for themselves. And, I have some nasty people that come to my channel and say some really nasty things. And I can only imagine what that would do to me mentally if someone said something nasty about my child. So that's why I'm very reserved and very, I keep those close. I keep it close,
Mhm.
sheltered. But
Yeah.
if you pay attention, you'll see little clips here and there.
Yeah.
It's just the channel's about me and my journey. It's not about the family, so to speak. If I had a family channel, that'd be different, of course. And I don't judge anyone who chooses to do it. This is just my personal
Yeah.
position and take on it.
Yeah.
But you'll see him in the video though, because sometimes I'm just not gonna be able to. You'll see Lil Turf. He's walking now.
I
You're gonna see
know.
him all up and through these daggone videos this summer because I'm not gonna have a choice. He's gonna be outside with me working. He'll be in the
Yeah.
background walking around, probably trying to put a stick in his mouth. So
Yeah. Yeah. But who did I saw? Oh, Journey Under the Sun. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Journey to the Sun, how you doing? Food by Faith, Garden to Table, how you doing?
Hey,
What
hey.
time is it here? It's 12, 12, 12. I'm in the future, y'all. Y'all want them lotto numbers?
Yes, you are.
Y'all want them numbers?
Yeah. Hey,
I
99. What's up, man? What's up, girl?
Gardner 99, a familiar face, familiar face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, respect that. Cool. Totally get that. Cool. I'm glad y'all can understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you on
Yeah.
that. That's why I slacked up
Yeah.
having my kids on screen with me, and I have a family channel. Yeah, so it's just yeah, one, yeah, you know, y'all know. Ain't even no need for me to go into that no more. I'm
Hey,
glad.
Melinda.
He
Yeah, I
said
know. So,
Turf McFly. I see what you did there, little
yeah.
Back to the Future reference.
Like, anyway, let's get into this. Wait a minute. Let me see. Well, yes.
Tonya's Town Hearts Garden says, "Hi, I just joined. I'm not familiar with Turf. What is his channel and where does he garden at?"
Well, ask him, my love.
So Tonya, see me and TT or Auntie TNOG or Auntie T, however you want to do it. We've been we've been friends for what? Going on 4 years now? I know maybe it's going on 3 years. I met her by way of Lead Farmer 73, actually.
Right.
Stumbled on their channel, fell in love immediately, and we've been attached to the hip for the most part for these few years. I started gardening out in Maryland. I am an active duty service member. I'm an EOD tech by trade, explosive ordnance disposal technician. I've been in the military for 17 years next month. I'm a master sergeant. I had a really rough deployment, came back home, everything was good. Then a little bit of time went by and it wasn't good. And then I went out into the yard, fixed a hole in the yard, and realized I got some of the best sleep of my life right that weekend. I finally felt like I was gaining some sort of peace and stability over my life. Back then, I was under a lot of counseling, mental health, uh, medication to keep me stable, keep me happy, and whatnot, or at least increase the value of my life. And then I found lawn care and I fell in love with lawn care and that became my therapy. That's why the channel is called Turf Therapy. But then along the way, we found lead. Then we found Lady Linda 511 and I fell in love with gardening as well. I still do gardening content. I don't do nearly as much as I can because since I started this channel and started gardening, I have two children now, back to back.
I know you
Um,
went to Germany with no kids
yeah, I
now.
went to Germany with no kids, and then we had the first one. He was born on New Year's Eve. He's a New Year's Eve baby, and then we just had our second um, last month. Right? No, the month before we had our second in February. So boy, girl, back to back. And I garden in Germany currently because that's where I'm stationed. I'm over here in Germany, and I'll be back home next year fall. I'll be
So
back in
many people are
America.
saying to you, thanks for your service.
Oh yeah, no problem.
My
No problem.
chaotic gardener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me in a nutshell. That's who I
Yeah.
am. That's what I do. That's not who I am. But that's what I do. And come check it out. You can get some good information on some turf management if you're into it. And along the way, I'll drop a little gardening videos on you. There's plenty in the catalog. I got a wine video, how to make some simple wine. That thing is like people are loving that video.
I know. I
Of
know.
course,
Would you
snarky people.
put your channel name in the chat, Turf?
I'll drop the link. Hold
Yeah,
on.
so Mars family say turf. I feel you on that. That's why I select up having my kids on screen with me, and I
Yeah.
have a family channel. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it gets dangerous out there, especially when you hit some topics that
yeah,
you already know it's probably going to ruin some people some kind of way. Once you expose your children to that, you can't really you can't do anything about it. And you're going to be saying to yourself, "Oh, I wish and I could and I would," and you can't do anything about it. And
no.
that's the world we live in today. So yeah,
Hey, CC. Melinda said when I said hello to her, she was waving at the TV. She said her daughter looked at it and said, "You weird." Yeah.
yeah,
But listen, let's talk about this. So, family, for those that participated yesterday on your Meatless Monday and your half a gallon of water, how did you do? How did you
mm,
do? I did
mm,
good, y'all.
mm. I did a gallon of water. I didn't have. I had
Really?
meat though. Yeah,
You
that's
had me?
typical for me. I usually do at least a gallon. In the summer, I'll do probably 2 gallons, but that just comes out of habit. I'm really
Yeah,
good with water intake.
right,
So
right, right. What Mike says? Mike say, yes, I need them winning numbers. I don't he probably typing to somebody.
no, he was talking to me when I said I'm in the future, y'all. Y'all need those
Oh,
numbers.
oh, I got you. I got you. Oh, Tanya say hi. Oh, okay. She just joined. I don't know if she talking about join your channel, Turf.
Oh, okay.
I'm not familiar with Turf.
Yeah,
Oh, right. We read that. I'm way
yeah,
down.
yeah.
I'm way lost. Yeah.
So Maria Graham said she did good on water.
Good, Maria.
Raquel Harrison said I did great with my water and vegetables. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
look
Miss
at that.
Harris.
I've been fasting for consecration since the last week in February. It has
Okay.
been a long time since I have eaten meat. Good for you, Food by Faith.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, here in New
Um,
Orleans, we have that 40-day thing, the Wednesday after Fat Tuesday, you know, uh, and then Catholics don't eat meat.
yeah, consecration. Yeah, that's I went to Catholic school
Yeah.
all the way up until the 6th grade. And what's funny that I just went to a wedding a couple weeks ago. I was a witness for a Slovakian wedding. It was traditional to have uh, a witness. So I was the groom's witness, and I remembered a lot from Catholic service. It's been a long time since I've been in a Catholic service, so
Mhm.
that was pretty cool. Tonya's Townhouse Garden says, "Well, hello, Turf. Thank you so much for your service. You just spoke to my heart on the mental health tip. Gardening has been my lifeline for the last 2 years. Yeah, I mean, lawn care and gardening, I can unequivocally say that it saved not just my life, but my whole quality of life. I won't say that it saved my marriage because my wife, she running through the ground for me, but it did a lot good. It did more good. It did more better for sure.
It did what? Mo better.
did more better. It did
Mo
more
better.
better.
Mo better. All right.
Steffi's
So,
garden said water for me was good, but I had to have my pork chop. But I'm going to
oh my
work on.
God.
Hey, Steffi, that's truth.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed. That's your truth.
Liz, I tell you, Jody had me crying because she saw my uncle years ago.
Mm-hmm,
He ate a pork chop sandwich. And
mm-hmm.
listen, some people would really take the bone out of it, but he didn't. He don't do that. He leave the
Yeah,
bone.
eat around the bone. Yeah,
Yes,
eat around the bone. Yeah, yeah. That's the
yes.
way to do it.
That's
Yeah, that's the
crazy,
way to do
man.
it. If
No.
you're gonna eat it, that's how you eat it. Yeah, that's
God
how you
bless
eat
you.
it.
But
What's up, Nikki? the OCD is chick. I see you done slide in here on the side patio door, knowing that it was unlocked because you family. How you doing, girl? I hope
Yeah.
that DMV treating you good.
Steffi say water for me was good, but I had to. Oh, that's Steffi. You just read that. She had to
Yeah,
have a pork chop.
yeah,
God bless you, my love.
yeah.
Let's see. Okay. One of the topics we want to talk about tonight, Turp, and I'm gonna let you take this one,
Mm.
is edible flowers. How many of you all grow edible flowers, or even do you eat your edible flowers? So those that hey Nikki baby, those are one of the things we want to talk about. Do you grow edible flowers? Do you eat your edible flowers?
Mm.
And Turf is going to talk about it. Oh,
Well, yeah. I mean, I can give some insight or perspective for edible flowers. Here's the funny thing about most, if not all, right? Let me speak
mhm,
loosely about our medication that we found on the market today is that hey, we're not that smart,
mhm.
and what I mean by we're not that smart is we. It looks like we came up with a whole bunch of stuff, but really all we did was observe his work. And if you don't subscribe to that, we observe nature.
Nature,
And when I say his, I mean,
God,
God.
the,
I just want to be clear
yeah,
about that. But if you
yeah,
don't subscribe to that, that's cool. I
yeah,
respect you.
mhm,
Nature, we observe nature, and then we figure out how to take nature and put it in the bottle. And a lot of times that's where all these different medicines come from.
right.
Their nature, and then they put them in a bottle, they synthesize them, they look at their genetic chain, their makeup as far as the elemental structure of them, atoms, and so on and so
Mhm.
forth. Not trying to take you back to
Okay,
science class, but with these things, right? And I
right.
think what's happened over the time, right, is because big pharma has done what big pharma has done. Whether you love them, you hate them, you trust them, you don't. That's all
Yeah,
okay. It doesn't really matter. But we sometimes forget that just because it's natural, it it still is medicine. It's
it
very
is.
much medicine,
I agree.
and there's a certain craft and familiarization that comes along with it. And I would tell people who are really into edibles, just eating them straight out the gate. Like I remember nasturtiums. Nasturtiums, they're edible, right? And I grew
Yes.
nasturtiums back in Maryland. And I was like, oh, they're edible. I'm gonna eat it. So I took a flower and I went to go eat it. And then like when I looked into it, I realized how much stuff was going on inside of it. Like
Yeah.
the insect world was going on. I was like, nah,
Yeah.
I ain't about to eat this. But
No.
outside of that, I think it's important for us to familiarize ourselves with horticultural experts and naturopathic doctors, right?
Right.
And these are the people that specialize in these herbal medicines.
Hmm.
So where you can self-treat yourself or grow these herbs or flowers and either just eat them because they're edible or eat them because they have medicinal purposes too. So I urge you to make sure you do more education than just rolling around on YouTube. I did a highly controversial video that I still get beat up for today when all I was really trying to do was spread awareness, and it
Comfort.
was on Comfrey, right?
Comfort.
Like you
Yeah.
go and read the comments on that daggone video, and people at one point almost decided to turn off the comments, but the thing is, I made a video to just give people perspective from data that's out there, and everyone's go-to was like, "Ah, oh, don't trust the FDA," and I'm like, "Well,
Yes.
then I would do this. I would take the link from the video that I did on the remember when all the formula was bad, and then
Yes.
the
Me.
FDA put out a statement saying, leave the formula alone.
Hmm.
A couple kids done died from the formula and stuff like that. So I took a link and I put that in there because I'm like, look, you know, you're so far left on this thing that you may miss something. And really, what I wanted to do was, hey, if you already have a liver issue or you're sensitive to these things, just keep in mind that could be some adverse reactions. So that was a long about way of saying do your research on this stuff. if you're already taking your own medication that's been prescribed to you by a doctor, you probably want to definitely double check before you go popping a medicinal or a plant in your mouth or cooking up a salve or something like that that you could have an adverse reaction to. And it might not happen right away. Nothing really, I mean, the right amount of dose over an extended period of time, you don't know what that could cause to you 10, 15, 20 years from now. I'm
Right.
all for going herbal, all natural. It's all great, but just keep in mind that aspirin was
Yes.
derived from a plant, so
Yeah. Weeping willow, white willow.
yeah.
I think that's what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the thing about it is that many of us think, oh, it's from nature, but it's medicine. It's medicine, and you can find yourself, like you say, in a world of hurt
Hmm.
by going out eating flowers. Uh,
Hmm.
there's so much medicine, and a lot of times, if they don't jive with you, yeah, you could be causing yourself big problems. Big
And
problems.
you could blame it on your medicine and not even know. That's why when you go to the doctor, they ask you, hey, are there any supplements that you're taking? And they
Hmm.
ask you that because some of the medication that you might be on may clash with these herbal supplements. Not saying the herbal supplements are bad, but they, as the physician,
Hmm.
have to do their due diligence and say, hey, it's probably not good that you take this medication for your liver and be taking milk thistle. That's too
Yeah,
much strain
yeah.
on your liver because you already got this one thing doing the other thing. Either that or just don't take
Hmm.
maybe stay away from the prescription and just roll with your milk thistle. I don't know, whichever. That's between you and your doctor. But I just want you to know, just because it's natural doesn't mean
Right.
that it can't be harmful to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I had a list of flowers, but hey, you all know. You all know your flowers.
Nah, let them know a couple flowers. I want to know a
Okay.
couple. I know you're gonna say one that I didn't know. Well, give us some
Okay.
edible flowers.
All right. Borage.
Borage, yeah, I know borage. Yeah.
Borage. Well, it don't jive with me. That thing knocks me out, and I don't mess with borage.
Well, see, there you go. More borage is good for you if you need to sleep. Boom.
No, I don't. I
Oh,
don't
it'll
like.
knock you out in a good way.
I mean, I'm almost 24 hours. That I
Oh,
know.
wow,
No,
wow.
that's really bad. Calendulas, and everybody, like calendula, they make
Hmm.
the salve and da 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 da. But the petals, do your research and not. Don't just stop at Google. Don't just stop at one site. Go ahead,
Hmm.
tell me, nephew.
Oh, I was gonna say, it's best to look up. What I like to do is type in uh, scholastic articles, right? So
Right,
I'll type in something that I want, like scholarly article on it, because
right.
that way, you know that something's been researched
Hmm.
with a control and then your variables, right? And then it's been peer reviewed and it's been
Right.
published. And most of this stuff comes out of extension offices from the universities,
Universities, ag
and
centers.
they are literally there to help you. I mean, their whole thing during, expanding to the West here in America was to help people live longer and not die along the way. So,
Yeah,
so,
true.
but if you're opposed to, believing those kind of things, then there's some solid books out there. I picked up one. I don't think it's over here. Maybe it's downstairs. But I
Okay.
picked up a solid book on like medicinals and and,
Yeah.
and herb
So,
stuff.
Myra said she just tried a young dandelion.
Hmm.
She said she couldn't handle it. Meds prevent me from eating some flowers. And it's
Mm.
truth. Yes.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
really have to
Yeah.
watch it. So
Yeah.
then you have daylilies,
Yeah.
nasturtiums, pansies,
Pansies.
violas. And
Yeah.
violas grow wild here in my area, all over my
Okay. Yeah.
yard. French marigolds, and I know a lot of people like French marigolds. And just as you say about the nasturtium, even before you put it in mouth, you better look in there because a
It's a
lot
whole
of
bunch of
insect
bug
litter.
activity. Yeah.
You'll be having
Yeah.
a little protein with your flower.
Yes.
Carnations, even some variety of hollyhocks are edible.
Okay.
Sunflowers. And even they have on here the flower of the cucumber. Well, really, we wouldn't eat it because, see, that's where our cucumber come from. But you can eat the flower of your cucumber.
Yeah, just like the squash. Yeah.
Exactly.
The
Yes.
zucchinis. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Cornflowers, even some roses. You can eat some varieties of roses,
Hmm.
lavenders, and the pea flowers. The flower that grows from the peas. You
Yeah.
can eat those flowers.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I want the pea though, baby.
I want the pea.
I want the pea. So
I
if
want
I
the pea.
eat the flower,
I'd
they're gonna
and I think I'd rather drink the lavender than eat it. That sounds
exactly.
like it would just be too. It'd be too much. It's
But
pungent.
what I do is I just take it and put it on my plate, just for eye candy. But I
There
ain't
you go.
eating that thing.
Garnish. Garnish.
Pure,
Garnish.
pure.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna eat it. I'm not gonna eat it. I'll probably take it and boil it and make a tea from it later, but I'm not gonna eat it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is just some of the flowers, but please research these things before you just go out and eat it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to be
Yeah.
around to enjoy your harvest. You don't want to be making yourself sick. So
Yeah, because I slept for almost 24 hours and I don't do that.
that's wild.
Messing with that borage. Ooh, I will never grow that again. No, no, y'all can have that thing. Ooh.
Yeah.
I like to be up with the sun, I want to see my day. If God gave it to me, I want to see it.
I want to see it.
I want to be in it.
I
I
hear
want
that.
to wobble wobble. I want to get in it. you know? So,
Yeah.
hey Ro, how you doing, baby? And Unicorn Tech Lady, hey honey, how you doing?
Hey,
And
Courtney Sherry. What's
Black
up?
Guns in the Garden. Go ahead.
Stacy, how you doing? Veggie Farm Garden.
Oh,
How you doing?
I ain't see him. Go ahead on, man.
Oh,
I
that,
like
that growing out the box is in here. That's a new name. How you doing?
really.
Growing out the
That's a
box.
new name for
Uh,
you, nephew.
yeah, yeah. I've been in
Mm.
a whole. I've been in my own little world over here with these two kids.
Well, everyone meet my nephew Turf Therapy. He is a
Yes, it's a mess garden. I
so.
like
So
that name.
listen, I wanted to ask you this. I did a very short video about a mole cricket,
A mole cricket. Okay.
and I was
There's
doing
some funny
research.
looking things.
Yes, and what they were saying is that they tear up a lot of lawns,
Mm,
and I
I
was
think so
wondering
in the South.
in the South. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, in the
yeah,
South. I think I've heard that before. Yeah.
yeah. They are terrible.
Yeah.
They're,
Yeah.
they're
They'll ruin the lawn. I'm pretty sure
they
I've
have
heard
some
of mole
pros and
cricket
cons
infested.
with them. Um,
Yeah.
one thing they do is they eat other insects in your soil. That's bad, right?
Yeah.
But they also will feed off the roots of your
Yeah.
plants.
Yep.
So, buddy, gotta go.
Yeah. You gotta go.
Yeah, you gotta go.
We used to call them puppy dogs for some reason. Yeah, because they
Yes,
kind of got a weird little puppy
yes,
dog face. That's probably
yes,
why. Yeah,
exactly.
they some funny looking things.
And
They
this is the
don't
thing
look
about it.
like. I'm pretty sure the first time I saw it, I was in Walterboro, South Carolina, a mole cricket, and I thought that it wasn't from this planet. It's like seeing was those toadfishes for the first time. You ever
Uh-huh.
see? You've seen one of those
Yeah.
mudfish, I think is what it's called, or something like that. It looked like a frog
Oh,
slash fish. I
but
was like, what is that? So yeah, it's a funny looking thing.
yeah. But have you noticed he also have two wings on him that is so small? These
Hmm.
wings are so small on him. It's like,
Yeah,
what are you doing with him, man?
yeah, yeah. What happened? Right.
Yeah. What you doing?
Yeah, we don't really deal with mole crickets in northern regions, and that's where I've
Okay.
been at for the past 6 years.
Yeah. Okay, so now nephew, so I want you to answer first. Well, let's let everybody in the chat answer first.
Okay. All right.
And then you answer
Okay.
the question that we talked about.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Well, you go ahead and ask
Oh, okay. So, hey, look, chat.
it.
If I told you this season you could only grow two things, two things now, that's it. Don't be coming along, oh, and or just
Right.
two things. What would
Two
they be?
vegetables, or
Two
two.
vegetables or fruits. You know,
Yeah,
it doesn't
whatever.
really matter. It could even
Two.
be a tree. It don't matter. If you could only have two things in your garden,
Right.
what would they be that you just can't go without? What would
Hmm.
they be, and why? And why? And
Yeah.
why?
So,
Turf therapy. Congrats on the new baby. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
yeah.
She's adorable. Oh, okay, we got our first ones coming in. Nikki down in the
What did you
DMV.
say?
She says tomatoes and peppers. Okay, all right. Yeah.
Tomatoes and peppers. Okay.
Yes, it's a mess garden says watermelon and tomatoes. Okay, we're seeing the trend with these tomatoes.
Uh-huh.
Summer vegetables and winter vegetables. GT, I knew somebody was gonna come with some nonsense, and I'm glad it's you talking about some summer vegetables and winter vegetables. Those my two.
No.
Oh, that's one I didn't expect. Oranges and butter crunch lettuce. Tar Jones Williamson. Okay. Tomatoes and apples. I can get behind that, especially
Mhm.
because with the apples, that's a twofer, right? No, it's like a
Right.
triple. Like you got the apple, then you can make you some preserves, then you can make you some wine.
You can make you some vinegar because I made
You can
vinegar.
make you some vinegar.
I had some vinegar,
Yeah,
man. It is
I
so
like that.
good.
We're not playing survival, grow two things for survival, but if we
No.
were, I think you won so far. I
Yeah.
think
But then when you read the vegetable that gardeners, backyard gardeners
Mhm,
grow the most
mhm.
is a tomato.
Oh yeah, of course.
Everybody
I think
grows.
one. I think once you grow your own tomatoes,
Yeah.
there's no going back.
There's no going back. You're gonna
Like you
always
have you yeah you kind of just have to. Ricketta Harrison says collards and tomatoes. I like that. I like that.
Nikki
Peppermint and
said
squash.
Linda love borage. You're right.
Yeah. Peppermint and squash for Melinda, collard greens and tomatoes for Courtney, tomatoes and onions for Steffi's. Tomato and onions. Okay, all right, cool. Cucumbers and watermelons. I like that. I love salads and a daily orange. Okay, so she's lettuce, some type of lettuce in the orange. Okay, kale and cucumbers. All right. Tomatoes and brassicas. See, you cheating food by faith. You
Yeah.
cheating. You done picked all the brassicas, all of them. Sweet potatoes and collards by Maria Graham. I like that too.
Oh,
I'm coming
that's
to your
really
house for
good.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Collards and beans. That's a smart choice, especially because you got the protein with the beans. Potatoes and mustard greens. You can make so many dishes with them. I agree, CC's Texas Garden. Congratulations, Turf. I didn't know. Good, thank you, Grace Gines. Appreciate it. Potatoes and bok choy is what GT's entry actually is. Okay, all right.
All right, Chris, what's your answer? I know one of them for Chris would be collards.
Who's that? Chris
Chris,
who? And where he
backyard
at?
roots. No,
Where
he's
he
not
at?
in here. He's not
Oh,
in it,
okay. Yeah,
but
he gonna do his yeah,
he got
yeah.
collard. I know
Nebraska
collard.
King.
Yes.
Nebraska King.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if it was me, I'm gonna tell you what I
Okay.
would do. Tomato and okra, said Tara Doster. I'm
Okay.
going for the tomatoes and cucumbers, and there's a reason why.
All right. Lay it on us.
I used to spend every summer. I'm from DC, but I used to spend all my summers down south. Right, they would either be in Walterboro, South Carolina, or Sumter, South Carolina, depending on which side of the family I was going to.
Mhm.
And that was like a staple dish that we would have during the summer. So it makes me feel, it reconnects me with those childhood memories, homey, of course. And tomatoes from the store just don't do it for me anymore. They just don't. And if I have tomatoes, I feel like I have to have cucumbers. It's just
Yeah.
like there's no way around it. So those two things
It's
just
like
go,
salt and pepper, right?
yeah, they just go hand in hand for me nowadays. I could
Right.
eat me a tomato and cucumber salad sandwich right now if I could,
And be happy. Mhm.
if I had it, and so tomatoes and cucumbers with me go be my go-to. But Tara, you said tomato and okra. If my wife had a vote, she would probably kick my cucumber off to the side and vote for okra because
Okra.
she
Yeah.
love her some okra.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Let's see. I wanted to see what Veggie Farm Babies. Oh, Courtney say I absolutely love your channel. I'm learning so much. Oh, thank you, baby. Thank you. Um, Oh, okay. I'm way up in the chat, y'all. Oh,
Precious,
okay.
Precious SoCal Garden. She said, "Oh my God, you're on early. Happy I didn't miss you. It's my fault, Precious. You know, we would have waited until our normal time. It had been 2 o'clock over here in Germany before we got started, and I gotta have the little one at daycare at 6:30. So yeah, that ain't cool. That wasn't gonna shake. Um,
Okay,
yes,
I'm
it's
just
a
trying to
mess.
get to the bottom and see. Myra says collards and apple in an apple tree.
Mm-hmm.
Collards for
Yeah.
vitamins and the fruit for the same. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Morris family says, I'm late in the chat, but I would grow avocados and beans because
Mm,
beans are carbs and fiber, and
mm-hmm.
avocado for
Good
fat.
fat. Yeah, that good
All
fat.
the essential food groups. Come on,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. See, I didn't take superstores out of play. So in my head, I can eat my I can grow my tomatoes and cucumbers and still go get all my essentials from the store.
Yeah, let's see what growing out the box say collards because they produce longest. They last long. Well, in his zone, I'm more sure, and
Mm-hmm.
can create a meal. Okra because it grows in the worst condition and you can eat it raw.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Nikki, she says, Turf, I agree. I cannot go back to grocery store tomatoes like that. I wanted to love tomatoes growing up, but they had no flavor. Right. Like every once in a while, I'll have a tomato from the store that gets it done. But it's just, it ain't nothing like walking into the backyard, pulling off one that you know is ready
Well, I
and just
think
eating it.
last Sunday, I
Mm-hmm.
talked about tomatoes and foods that we buy from the store and
Mm-hmm.
how Big Farmer makes these foods only to look good.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Pull them
Look
off when they're
good.
super green. They're not even blushing yet. Then hit them with a
Not at
gas
all.
and
Yeah, hit them
yeah.
with
Oh,
some gas and that's why when you go to the store and pick a tomato, most of them is hard as a darn brick. And when you cut them, there is no flavor.
mm-mm.
No
And
flavor.
barely any water. They barely even holding any
Because
moisture.
all the food that Big Farmer sells is for our eyes, and
Mm-hmm.
that is our world, nephew. That is our
Yeah.
world.
Oh,
Is
I
that
know.
it is all about how it look.
Yeah.
It is not within.
And that's
It is
everything.
not exactly.
That doesn't
It is
stop with
not
food.
about what's in us, huh? What you say,
It's,
man?
I said that doesn't stop with the food. It just starts with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody. It's like putting on a bunch of makeup and think you're hiding an ugly attitude or
Mm-hmm.
what's in you. Not
Whitewashed tombs. That's all they are. Whitewashed tombs.
exactly. So
Yeah.
when we grow, and we talked about when we grow tomatoes and our vegetables and our funny shaped carrots, man, give it to me.
Give it to me all day.
All day, every day.
Yeah.
Because
So what about you?
what about me?
What would you grow? What's your two? What's your two?
I've been sitting here trying to think of two, but I mean, I got one
You got
because
one?
yeah. So I'm gonna ask Nikki. Nikki, she may know this.
She better
What
not mess it up.
what is the vegetable, Nikki, that I must have in my garden?
You better not mess this up. You
And it
represent
doesn't
the whole
matter
DMV, Nikki.
if it's summer or if it's spring or winter or fall.
Don't
I
mess this
have
up,
this
Nikki.
vegetable growing in my garden. What you drinking, nephew?
Um, I don't know the name of it, but it's a seven blend out of
Ooh,
France.
ooh.
That is one beautiful thing about being back in Europe. Game nerd mom coming in hot. How you doing, game nerd mom?
So who is this person here?
That was a good guess, Maria
What?
Graham. Maria
What's your
Graham said onions. I
onion?
I would guess onions. Yeah, I would guess
For
onions.
me?
Yeah, because you always got some onions in your
Well,
garden.
that's true, but
You
that's
always got onions in your garden. So if you
that's
were to say that it was onions, I would believe that
yeah.
because you always, I don't think I've ever seen you go to your garden and you not have at least some chives to throw in a meal, especially if you making some scrump. You got some
Yeah,
daggone
baby.
onions.
Yeah. Um,
You got 200-gallon grow bags filled with onions right now. I was like, look at her with two
yeah.
full grow
Let me
bags
see.
of onions.
Did Nikki answer?
Nikki didn't answer yet. She may have stepped away, but
Okay, maybe
Game
she.
Nerd
Oh,
Mom,
oh,
Game Nerd
oh.
Mom got you.
What'd she say?
She said Kohlrabi.
Game nerd mom said that.
She got you. She got your number. And
Yeah,
then
baby, that's it.
followed
It's
by Courtney Sherry, because Courtney Sherry's been binge watching all your stuff. She says she loves your stuff. She's been learning so much.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
she loves the channel. Diane Henry, Patty Pan Squash. If I were to get three, then Nikki come in late with Kohlrabi. You late, Nikki. You late. But no, Patty Pan Squash. That's if you would ask me what's the one squash I would grow, Patty
Yeah.
Pan Squash. That'd be it.
I know. Remember we talked about this. I remember you telling us when you first got to Germany and how this lady had a patty pan on her desk as
Yeah.
wait for her kid.
Decoration.
And come on,
Yeah.
tell a story. Tell a
Yeah.
story.
So I come in and I was like, oh, you got Patty Pan Squash? And she said, oh, is that what that is? I was like, yeah. She was like, oh, someone gave it to me. I was like, why didn't you eat it? She said, oh, I didn't know I could eat it. I just thought, maybe it was like decorative or something. So I put it up here because, the holidays is fall. It looked pretty. I said, man, you just missed out on some of the best squash you would have ever, best summer squash. Let me preference with that because I know some
Yeah,
people be like, hey, don't come from my butternut, don't come from my acorn. I'm not,
right.
I'm not going to do that. Those are
Uh-huh.
two completely different animals. But when it comes to a summer squash,
Mhm.
patty pan squash. That's the way to go. And mostly, I'm biased to this because those summers that I was telling you about, when I
Mhm.
would go down south and
Yeah,
spend this out down there,
yeah.
squash was for every single meal: breakfast,
Your
lunch,
lunch and
supper,
yes,
dinner, all of that.
yeah.
Squash was on every plate. I'm yellow neck, crook neck squash
Perfect.
out. I don't want no more yellow crook neck squash.
That's
The
now that's Jada's favorite vegetable, the patty pan squash.
Yeah, patty pan. You can give me patty pan all day because you don't cook it too much, man. Just
No,
just just put a little bit of olive oil or some butter
a
in the
little,
pan,
a little al
and just and
dente.
just and just get them al dente, and you can eat them raw. Raw, they're good, but
Look at Nikki
yeah,
say Romanesco, Romanesco.
broccoli. Look,
Yeah,
I think them daggone worms or whatever the heck is out there eating on my stuff got to my Roman because I had broccoli romanesco out there. I had purple cauliflower out there. I had brassica flowering game was I had the timing dialed in. Those plants were getting big,
really.
and then something just went to town on them out there. But I'm not gonna sweat it. Like I said,
Yeah,
I got
I
more
remember.
plants coming in.
I remember Grow Family Network. Now
Mm,
this was before I learned how to grow this thing myself because I had the hardest time in the world to grow a broccoli romanesco, but
yeah,
I saw Grow Family Network. He grew one and it was huge, and I was
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh my God, he got it! He
He
got
got
it!" So he went out there looking at it, and he said, "I'm gonna harvest it
Oh,
tomorrow."
I remember that.
The possums heard him.
They heard him. They're like, hey,
They
we
heard
gotta get it. We gotta
we got
get
to
this
get it
tonight
tonight, dog. We
because
gotta
they
get it
moving.
tonight.
He about to move the bag, y'all. We gotta get the bag tonight.
We gotta get that thing tonight. He said he went there that morning. It was gold. I mean,
Gone.
ate down to the nub. Oh my
Hey,
God.
hey.
Man, I would have been crazy mad.
Yeah, yeah. So for me, you know what? And that's a good point. For me to
Mm,
lose those plants this early, I'm
yeah,
like, I'm cool as a fan about it. I'm like, all
yeah,
right, whatever. I got too much stuff to go
exactly.
to be worried about the plants. I got a whole nother flat of plants ready to go into something. and you just made my decision easy. I'm gonna just
Yeah.
swap these things out, drop some new ones in. That's
Yeah.
where I'm at with it.
Okay,
Yeah.
you want to get to the chat because it's moving, man. We done missed the
Yeah,
button. You do it.
a lot of people have been let me just scroll
I
up a
see
little bit.
Tylene in
They hit
here.
my
Hey,
my
baby.
scrimp. They talk about my scrimp.
Yeah,
All right,
I guess that's Mara said.
scrimp.
If she could grow shrimp, she would have shrimp growing out there.
I feel you.
I would.
Yeah, Game Their Mom said you got her hip to Kohlrabi a while back. Yes, sir.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
What we got, Roman? Yeah, I need to learn how to prepare patty pan squash. Courtney, I just told you, it's
Go ahead.
super easy. Look,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
you can't mess it up.
You
The
can.
skin is edible.
Yes.
Just harvest it, clean
Mhm.
off the outside. Get you whatever you want to clean your vegetables in. I know some people use some mild soapy water. Some people just use the vinegar and water. Some people do a
Yes. Salt,
salt
vinegar,
vinegar scrub,
lemon,
salt
whatever.
vinegar scrub. Whatever you do
Yeah.
in your kitchen, that's your kitchen. All right.
Yes.
Don't let nobody tell you different.
Come on now.
Then you slice it up. I like to slice them up in about like quarter-inch thick. I like them to be a little bit on the thicker side, at least a quarter-inch. And then you can quarter them up from there if
I'm
you
sorry,
want to.
nephew. Could you talk for a minute? I'm gonna be right back.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
You can quarter them up from there, or you can just have that one, slither of patty pan squash, and then you just throw it in a nice medium heat pan and get you a nice little sear. I like to get a medium heat on there and get a nice sear, a little browning on both sides. Shouldn't take any more than 2 to 3 minutes per side. Take it out. You want that thing al dente like your pasta. You want it to still be a little crisp and firm, and then you go to town. Maybe a little salt and pepper. It doesn't need much because it's already really creamy. It's not sweet, but it's like creamy and buttery. It's a good vegetable, solid vegetable. So um, technically, it's a fruit because it bears seeds, but nevertheless, patty pan squash. If you ain't never tried it, go for sure. Barb Brownlee, hello, Miss Linda and Turf and everyone. Strike that beautiful pose. Meatless Monday success. That's what's up. We addressed that earlier, Barb. I'm glad you had a successful meatless Monday. Late joining, prepping for bad storms, 70 mile per hour plus windings and more coming. Barb, you're in our prayers. Make
Yeah.
sure you got everything that you need, and you know, I hope for the best. Hope for the best. To be honest, I love squash, so I probably wouldn't be too upset about squash getting their moms.
Yeah.
Look, I couldn't do no more yellow crookneck squash. That's the last thing you see me reaching for. I'm sorry.
Did you read
Um,
Mars Family Studio where she said she had something eating her sweet potato slips? I'm
no.
trying to think what would be eating her sweet potato slips.
The slips.
Yeah.
Anything that's hungry and waking up. I mean, it's young
They are
foliage.
they are in the ground, baby. I mean, are they already outside planted?
Oh, there it is. I have something eating my sweet potato slips, making them look see through. See through.
See through.
I mean, that could be. I hate to say it, but you just had thrips in your garden.
I just did a video about thrips.
It
They
could
were
be
in my
thrips. It
onion.
could be leaf miners. But you would see squiggly lines running through it if it was leaf
And see,
miners.
that's the thing when she say where it's making it clear. That sounds like thrips.
Sound like thrips.
I'm dealing with it now with my onions. It's
Mm,
crazy.
I don't know. That could. I would. If you have I don't know what county you live in, but
She in
this is where I
Texas.
lean in Texas. Well, which county in Texas? But I would reach out to your local extension office, take some
Yeah.
pictures, and email them into them. That's what they're there for, a free resource, and see if you can get some feedback on it. That sucks. But the thing is, those slips, those sweet potatoes in general, they can recover pretty well. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it all a loss.
Yeah.
I want to
Right.
grow all the things, but there's so much that I have no idea how to cook or even how to slice. My problem is cooking the stuff I've never heard of or had before, such as kohlrabi or patty pan. Tanya's townhouse garden. And I understand that, right? Because I don't know about you, Tina, probably not with you, but like butternut squash used to be one of those vegetables I would avoid, or fruit that I would avoid because it seemed a little, you know, daunting to how to even approach that squash to chop it up properly to prepare it. So I can understand that, but I could tell you this: look, when you cooking for yourself, nobody care but you. And
Yeah.
if they in your house, they in your house. So as long as it
Yeah.
tastes good. But I would play with
Now
a
you
few
know
different
with butternut.
styles.
Yes, yes.
I play
Go
with it
ahead,
because
man.
you might come out with a whole new cut, and then we can call it the Tanya's cut of whatever
Yeah.
vegetable or fruit out there. And then I wouldn't get too hung up on that. I would think about this: how long are you cooking it for? If it's something that's going to cook for a longer time, then you probably want a thicker cut. And if it's something that you're going to cook for a short period of time, and it's and you want to have it a certain texture, then you go with a thinner cut. You know, like I like the crunch that comes along with the patty pan squash, so I
Yeah.
cook it a little thicker. I cut it a little thicker on purpose. But
Hmm.
there's no wrong way to do it. I would just play with it, have fun with it, have
What
fun with it.
for me, like with butternut squash and butternut squash for me, I have cooked it savory with salt and onions and but I have also cooked it as a dessert,
Hmm.
like with cinnamon and sugar. So that butternut squash, but listen, Food by Faith. Food by Faith is in this chat. Go check her out because what Food by Faith does, she grow it, she harvest it, and she prepare it.
There you go. You're right. Yeah, she
Yes,
does a lot of healthy meals over there, right?
she really do. She really
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
From with meat or even meatless, she does a lot over there. So
yeah.
go check out Food by Faith. It
Moore's
is.
Family Studio.
It,
He said, "I like my patty pan smothered with some shrimp and ham."
there you
I hear you.
go. See,
I hear you. See,
yeah.
I would have never thought to do that, but hey, you
With
got
patty
one.
pan. Oh, Jada, that's how she cooked that thing.
I like my patty pan with just, man, I'll eat it. I won't even let it come inside
Right.
sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll eat it raw, just like kohlrabi. Kohlrabi, you can eat that raw. That's
I
good,
love
man.
it raw, and
Yeah,
I have eaten it just right there. Slice that thing up. It's
yeah.
so good like that to me.
Now that
Going
I'm gonna do this year, Myra.
today. Mm,
Myra said, I like to scoop out patty pan squash and try it inside and stuff it. Then in the oven with just a coating of olive oil when
mm,
tender to taste eat. That I'm going to be doing this year. I'm going to be
yeah,
stuffing my squash.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
Did you see Growing with Donnie?
What she say?
She said, "Hey y'all, welcome back, Turf."
Hey, thank you. I never went anywhere. I just been in my little hole, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, Morse Family
Baby.
Studio said, he said thrips sound like something that needs penicillin. Stop. It do though.
So I just my last two videos is about thrips. The last two videos. I
Go
think
check it
one
out,
of them,
y'all.
yeah, I think one of them I said something about my remedy two thrifts that I had. My onions have been but they doing good because I got this mixture I put on these babies, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
And it
yeah,
says the one I did 2 days ago is what is this? It's thrifts. That's the name of that video.
yeah.
And the other one is making a way out of no way is just the remedy I found because I have two spray bottles and both of them broke.
No,
But that's okay. I had a little hand spray bottle and I put that
got
little
it
thing to
done.
work, you know.
Got it done. I like
Yeah.
my battery ones. The battery ones I got, you can adjust the nozzle on them, and I
Hmm.
just hit the button and it
Hmm.
just sprays. I love the. It's a little handheld one. It's
It
I,
sounds so good.
I think it holds like a gallon,
Really?
gallon and a half. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not a gallon. Maybe not a gallon. Nah, it's not a gallon. It would be too heavy if it was a gallon. It
Yeah.
holds quite a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a liter.
Yeah.
No, it's
Hey,
got to be more than a liter too.
a whole new perspective. How you doing, baby? How are you?
Whole new perspective.
Yeah.
Somebody slid in here. Who was it?
There you go, baby. You fine.
Callie Homesteading with Pooh Bear. What's
Okay.
going on? Good to see you, fam. And someone else slid in here too. Unicorn Lady Tech is in here. How you doing?
Uh,
And Bryn Michael. There it is. Bryn Michael. How you doing? Good evening, all. Miss Linda and Turf. Good evening. Yeah, I use a sprayer to water my seedlings when they're small. Hey, I don't do so. Once all my stuff sprout, really even before they sprout, I use flats, and then I'll have my cells, and they'll be. I know you don't start too many seeds indoors, but
I,
I don't have that New Orleans weather. But
I
for
see.
me, something that's been really successful is I take my cocoa core, however it pleases you.
Coca Core.
Yeah, and then a little bit of perlite, just a little bit of perlite, a little bit of compost, and I mix that up together, and I have it nice and wet, and I fill my cells up, right,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then I plant all my seeds and make sure that they're at the proper depth according to the package for the seed that I'm planting. And then from there, I only water from below. So I'll fill up the tray that it sits in, and then it just sucks up the moisture. And then I can tell by on the top if it has enough moisture. And then once the seedlings germinate,
Hmm.
I don't water. Yeah, I mean, I'll let that thing dry out a good bit because what I want to do is start encouraging those roots to drive deeper and get
Right.
established. So, every 3 days, depending on which plants I'm dealing with, right? Because tomatoes, they're super thirsty. Those bigger, hardier plants, they get real thirsty real quick. But things like peppers, they usually take their time. They move slow. Even the
Mhm.
brassicas move kind of slow in the beginning. But I fill up from the bottom and let it wick up into the plant, and then I can go about every 2 or 3 days before I have to worry about watering them again. Because watering from the top, when I was in Maryland, I used to deal with fungus gnats so much, and they were just so annoying. And
Yeah.
there was two things that fixed it: keeping those little bug zappers in the house, and starting to water my plants from below, and that really took care of a lot of the fungus gnats problems for me.
So tell me this here. Once you put your plants out in your garden, do you worry about watering your plants from the top or the bottom?
Once they're in the garden, like planted in the garden,
Yes.
uh,
And they big
I
plants.
don't. I so everything in my garden beds are on drip,
Okay.
so I'm not really worried about it. The thing, and then if I'm watering by hand and it's in my container,
Hmm.
I I typically, because it's not the Lord's water, right? It's city water, and
Hmm.
depending on the time of day, I typically want to water at the base of the plant, just because if the climate's right and prone to it, and I'm adding more moisture to the leaf blades and the foliage,
Hmm.
that can induce things like blight. So I try to avoid splashing up too much. I try
Oh
to go
yeah,
to the base of the
for
plant and make sure that
tomatoes.
I'm using a controlled. If I got to do what I got to do, I'm gonna do it. Like in Maryland,
Right.
I used to have the hose out and I'm just like spraying
Yeah.
it, getting it done.
Hmm.
And when they're a little hardier and they're older, and I'm not worried about fungus gnats, it's not such a
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not such a big deal. But once they get in the garden, they're in the garden. But
Exactly. So
yeah,
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 and definitely understand that.
yeah.
So now, mostly looks like most of the people that's in here have already started their garden, or well, not everybody, right? So um, we just have some. We have some seeds that you could start in the month of April.
Mm.
So For those who don't have like Game Nerd Mom, are your plants outside yet? I don't know what zone she in, but I know it's cold where you at.
There go my battle buddy.
Who's that?
Hands in the dirt.
Is
The
it?
the other Stacy, or see that look, I might get in trouble. Stacy, I'm gonna just say Stacy because I don't want no. I'm not the other Stacy. I'm the Stacy. I can hear him saying it right now. What's up, bro? How you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, so that's pretty. I mean, we got the best of both worlds here. So I got more of a cool season climate. You got more of a warm season climate. So you can talk to some of the things because that matters, people. If you're new to gardening, first step, figure out where you live as far as a grow zone. Are you in a warm season climate or are you in a cool season climate? You hear me talk about this all the time in lawn care,
Yeah.
but it applies even more so in gardening. And really, with that, it could give you a good idea of what you're going to be able to pull off. Like, you can't be living in New York trying to go sweet potatoes. I mean, you can, but it's going to be hard, right? You don't have enough growing degree days. Your growing season for warm season crops
Is
is
mm-mm.
short. It's too short to I think what sweet potatoes need like 100 and something days, right?
70 some days, yeah.
Okay, 70 something. I thought they need 100. But yeah, it's a lot. So just
It's a
things to
lot.
keep in mind. Things to keep in mind.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said, Turf, I'm from Wisconsin, so I have mine planted inside for now in zone 5. Wow.
He had what he do what?
Uh,
They're outside?
Gail Gail Hooper. They say, Turf, I'm from Wisconsin, so I have mine planted inside for
It's,
now in zone
okay.
5. You know, one thing that I've learned when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to hardening off my plants this spring,
Mm-hmm.
you know how people say put it outside for 20 minutes, bring it back in. Put it out for 30 minutes, bring it back in. This is
Mm-hmm.
what I've been doing with my plants. And I promise you, I have not murked the plant yet. For the
Mm-hmm.
early spring, right? I'm not talking about doing it in the summer, in the heat of the summer. In the early spring, if you're in a cool season climate and you're rotating your first cool season crop outside, I find a stretch where I have no frost coming for about 4 days, and I just put them outside,
You just
and I
leave
don't.
it.
I just leave them.
Man, they're gonna have you on confessions on Wind Down Wednesday saying how you done kill how you done killed your plants.
They're perfectly fine. The reason why, though, I thought about it and I was like, the sun's not very intense this time of the year in this
Right.
northern climate. We have these cloudy days.
Mm-hmm.
They're all cool season crops, so they like the cool
They
weather.
like it. Yeah.
They're fine. They're perfectly fine. I don't have to do a whole bunch of tricks, rope tricks, and theatrics. I just put them outside. Find a nice stretch, 3 to 4 day stretch when the temperature is getting up to about 50, 55,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I don't have any frost coming. And them plants are perfectly fine. They're good
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
Just something that I've observed. I've been doing that all spring. I did it last year too, but I didn't want to talk about it too much because it was a trial.
Yeah.
I was like, let me see if that was just luck, or let me see if I could try. I did it
Yeah.
again. Back in Maryland, I used to put them in my backyard where it didn't get that much sun and leave them out, and they did just fine too. So, but here I've been able
Mm-hmm.
to put them out, and they've been just fine.
Yeah. Okay, so let's I'm gonna share with you all some vegetables that you all could be grow. Oh, I am so way up in there. Good Lord. Wow. So Myra said TNOG eats her lunch as she walks through the garden. What gets inside is the snack.
You extra though, GT. GT, he does the incredible. GT says, I'm in Alaska and I grow potatoes in Fort."
I mean, you grow what? White potato or sweet potatoes?
Right, yeah, that is a thing too. I was talking about sweet potatoes, but
He was talking
but
about
GT will grow it. He'll grow it. You
you
bet him
grow
right now. He'll grow it. Like, you can't grow corn in Alaska. Watch this.
it. He grew corn.
I don't
I
know. He
didn't.
probably if you dare him to do it and tell him he can't do it, Be
Yeah,
prepared for his next video to say
he'll
he
go out
doing
there
it.
and buy a light to shine on him.
Hey, he'll do it. He'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
white
Oh,
potatoes. He
hey,
did white
Dorsha.
potatoes.
He said
Hey,
what?
Dorsha. He did white potatoes.
Yeah, I saw his harvest on white potatoes. I haven't
Yeah.
seen him harvest sweet potatoes. I mean, maybe it was something I missed, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey.
Um,
Hey, Andel, how you doing?
hey, hey. Um, all right. So let's talk about some seeds, nephew.
Mm.
All right.
April, cool
Yeah.
season climate. I would be starting warm season plants right now.
Yes.
If you're six, I would say 6A or above, I would be planting cucumbers, I would be
Yep.
planting squash, I would be
Yes.
planting beans.
And that's
You
beans
probably
and
got enough time.
too.
Yeah, yeah. If you probably still have enough time for a short run of some radishes, maybe some beets before the summer kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
But I would be looking at my warm season crops or cool season crops that can tolerate
Right.
heat.
Yeah.
Um, Tomatoes should have already been started. If
Mm-hmm.
not, you still got time. Peppers, same with those. I probably would have had my peppers going last month, but you still got time.
Yeah.
Uh, that's what I would be focusing on. Cool season crops that are going to yield in somewhere between 75 and 100 days. Those are the crops.
So they also have on here okra. And so,
Okra, yeah, that's yeah. So I started my okra last month, but
yeah,
that's because I have a shorter growing season. But yeah,
yeah,
definitely okra.
yeah. Drop
Um,
your okra. Yeah.
yeah, and I would argue like if you have the ability to drop some stuff inside, do
Hmm.
them in both places.
Exactly.
Herbs, get
Herbs.
your herb game
I'm
right.
looking at it. Chives, parsley. Drop your herbs. And, those herbs that you cook with. Like dill. All of
Basil,
those things that you cook with to enhance your food.
yeah.
Grow it, and definitely, like Turf say, drop some inside, drop some outside, so you can eat some now and
Mhm.
store some later.
Flowers, even
Yes,
the edible ones,
even
like
the
we talked.
edible. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely. But you definitely want to always drop flowers, whether they're edible or not, for just so you can get those beneficial insects, so you can get some great pollinators, right? They
Yeah,
coming for the
absolutely.
food, baby. They come for the food.
Yeah.
Yeah. So also, listen, if even your white potatoes, I'm about to harvest some I've harvested some white potatoes this season already.
hmm
I have 2 containers of what I have some Clancy potatoes growing, and I have some potatoes. I got some seed starts from my nursery. In about a week or two, they're going to be ready. So when I harvest those potatoes, I'm going to take 2 or 3 of those potatoes and I'm going to start to grow more potatoes.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's if you like
Succession.
potatoes. Exactly. Keep on growing them. Keep on
hmm
growing them. That's
Yeah.
food.
I can tell you a mistake that I've seen some gardeners making. Um, and I'm gonna give you a really good example, and this is for seasoned gardeners and beginners, just something to think about.
Mhm.
I, and you're probably the best example I see is always getting this right because of your climate. You understand that you can always have something growing in your garden, and I see a lot of people waiting until the frost is completely gone to start
Mhm.
planting things in their garden. But like I said, a lot of your cool season crops like onions, collards, uh,
Garlic.
garlic. Well, garlic should have been in the previous fall more times than not
Right.
when you're in the north. But a lot of these crops are are cold hardy. They're frost hardy up until somewhere around 25 degrees Fahrenheit, right? So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of you guys are, unless you feel like doing this, a lot of you could have plants in the ground 1 to 2 months before you're actually putting them in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
If you wait into the nursery, if you're a person that buys starts, not knocking you, that's your thing. But
Mm-hmm.
when if you look at the nursery and they'll have these starts ready, usually when the nursery has them ready, you probably could have already had them in the ground at least a month ahead of time.
Exactly.
So it's just something to think about when you see when your average like hard freeze. That's when you want to look at your freeze dates. Whenever you're past like your last hard freeze date,
Hmm.
you're most likely good to go ahead and get crops in the ground. Like I've had stuff in the ground here in Germany for over a month already.
Hmm.
Uh, Granted, I've lost like 60% of my brassicas because something's out there eating it, and I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's a bird. I think
They
it's a
hungry,
bird.
man. They hungry.
Yeah, but it's no big deal because I that was my first round of brassicas.
Right.
Now my second round of brassicas are completely hardened off, and they're about to go in the ground, and they're just going to take the place of the things that got bit up in the beginning, and then I still got 40 to 50% of the brassicas that I put out there. So it's no love lost there. So just it's too late at this point this year, but just look at your calendar a little closer. I bet you can get easy things like spinach, lettuce, kale, collard. That
Especially the
stuff,
lettuce, man. The
yeah,
lettuce.
yeah, that stuff
Definitely.
that stuff could have been in the ground,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. Just something to think
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. Oh, did you see that? Somebody chat.
What we
Oh,
got?
Courtney said,
So,
I'm nervous about potatoes. I'm in zone 5B, Colorado.
oh, Wichicon was taking care of her. Game Nerd Mom and
Oh,
GT, they took care of her. They got
okay.
her straight. I think even DMV,
Nikki,
my DMV sister, yeah, Nikki hopped in and gave her a hand.
good,
So that's
good.
what's up. Community helping community.
Yeah,
Um,
good.
Callie Homesteading with Pooh Bear says, everybody in the chat, I'm driving, but I'm here and I'm saying
All
hi to
right.
everybody. I can't respond to everybody individually right now. That's right. Drive. Keep your eyes on the road. Stay safe. Stay safe. Yeah, Courtney Cherry, you growing in growing bags? Look, that's all I knew for a very long time. My whole driveway was filled up with a whole garden. so, so the
Yeah.
only thing you need to
It's-
keep in mind with those grow bags is when it gets hot, you gotta water those jokers. You
Well,
gotta keep them
and
watered.
I have a lot of grow bags as well as, raised beds and containers. My thing is, and I have a bunch of heat and humidity. It's
Mhm,
just a standard thing that I do. I water my garden every day.
mhm.
It's
It's just
That's it.
habit. It's routine. Yeah,
It's routine. It's
yeah.
routine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless you're in a place that is getting plenty of moisture, and then even with those grow bags, they dry out so easy, like
Yeah.
because there's so much air able to
Yeah.
move through them.
Hmm.
So just
That's
that,
why
and the
I just water every day.
two things I learned about growing things in bags:
Hmm.
water
Hmm.
and feeding them.
Yes.
And what I've done here in Germany is something a little different. Is that I like to I like to top load a lot of my soil with compost,
Hmm.
um, because then it gives an extended long feed. It's not necessarily waiting for me to do anything. And I have like my native soil here is clay soil,
Hmm.
which is amazing because it holds on to a lot of nutrients. And it used to be farmland out here,
Hmm.
so it's loaded with potassium and phosphorus. And really, all my plants needs a little bit of nitrogen.
Nitrogen.
And
Hmm.
plants are allowed to, plants are able to sequester their own nitrogen freely throughout the air and moves.
Right.
When it rains, it drops. So I
Hmm.
found myself I fertilized my garden one time last year.
Okay.
One time. Just one
Mm.
time.
Yeah.
And then the soil did the rest.
All
So
right. Cool.
yeah.
And see, the thing about it is like for my fruit trees, what I do is I just take a bag of black cow and I go around and I top them all off with black cow.
Yep.
I just put that topping on them, and just let them wild out.
Yeah.
Bring on the food, baby. Bring on the food, But
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Aisha, she said, "Good evening. I don't know if I'm way up or where I'm at." She said, "I don't harden off my plants. It is survival of the fittest. I rarely have a plant that die."
You
Awesome.
sound like broke over there. He was like,
Oh,
hey, you
really?
thug it out.
Yeah.
Kick you out.
Oh, Myra say it's the wind and the rain in April that kills my spring starters.
So I just thought of this. Another quick little tip for you guys. If you're starting stuff inside, something that you have to that I it's a mandatory. Get you a little fan. Get you some clip fans and put just you could put them things on low. And what it does is it simulates that air moving a little bit outside.
Mm-hmm.
And what you'll notice is that your plants they'll start to develop a much thicker and
Thicker
sturdier stalk.
toughness. Yeah.
Right. That way, by the time they get outside, they're used to it and they can deal with it. They can acclimate to it a lot easier. So a lot of times we make the mistake by forgetting about the elements outside. We get the water right, we got the lighting right, but we're not introducing it to any type of struggles,
Yeah.
right? Like we
Well,
go through in real
yeah.
life.
Precious have a Precious SoCal. She have a little she shed where she have all her plant starts and stuff, and
Mhm.
she does have fans on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Put some
toughen
fans
them
on them.
up.
Yeah, put some wind on them. Put a little,
Yeah.
and it doesn't take much. You can put that thing on the lowest setting and just let it
Mhm.
roll. I got one clip fan on my 3 tier rack system,
Mhm.
and I just move the fan.
Yeah.
I just move it. I don't have 3 different fans. I just move it around. Boom.
Yeah.
One day it's at the top, the next day, because outside sometimes the air is still.
Yeah. True.
So, hey, I just move it around and put that thing on low, and them stalks get nice and thick. So,
Yeah.
just another tip for you.
So yes, as a message says she put hers in a shady area outside.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to do that in Maryland. When the
Yeah.
sun, you'll know when the
Yeah.
sun's so bright and so intense. It's not even just the bright; it's the intense heat. It feels
Yeah.
different, right? Because the sun's moving
Mhm.
closer to you as you come into your summer. So I said,
Mhm.
in the spring, I've been able to just get away with putting my cool season crop plants outside for hardening,
Mhm.
looking at the weather, finding a window where the weather's at least 55 degrees as the high. I'm getting in the 50s, 55s, and the lows don't dip below 30.
Right.
Them plants are perfectly fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see Dorsia. Did you see Dorsia?
Yeah, I saw
Hey,
Dorset. What's up,
Dorsia.
cousin? What's up, cousin?
Yeah, he say, "What's up, cousin?"
It's my road. It's my road. I'm gonna be on her channel. I think this month. I
Oh,
need to put it in
really?
the calendar. Yeah, I need to put it on
Awesome.
the calendar. Let's
Awesome.
see.
Okay, so what else we have here? So we talked about the plants and the beans and the peas, eggplants. So usually when does um, short season gardeners put out their eggplants? Here it says they could start putting them out as soon as frosts have passed them. They can put
Right.
their eggplants out, and really all of it,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I would think so because they have such a short season.
Right. Right. So for me, I'm growing. I grew these last year, and I loved them, and I'm growing them again this year. Cambodian eggplants. Last
Cambodia.
year only, yeah, last year I only had one plant. I liked it, so I got 3 plants this year.
So is it a dark eggplant? It is green. What is
No, it actually it's green and
it's camouflage?
it's it looks like a big tomato, a big
Really?
green tomato. Yeah,
Okay.
it's good though. And for me, I have to start my eggplants. I think I started them like in January, February.
So how
So
do
that's the
you
thing when you're in a
prepare
shorter
your
growing
eggplant?
season, you just have to start them inside
Mm,
really soon and then transfer them out, just like my peppers and tomatoes. All those, I've had them inside for about 2 months now. And then about 2 weeks, everything's going outside. Everybody getting the eviction pink slip.
yeah. But I tell you what, you have done some amazing videos that I love. But one video that's have stuck with me that I love,
Which one?
and it went back to the baby food. I when I
Yeah.
tell you that video, I loved it.
Yeah. She's talking about if you've never seen it.
Yeah, tell them about it.
I grew so I was growing peas for Prince Turf, little Turf. My son. This is
And carrots,
before this is
wasn't it a
before
carrot?
our baby girl got here. Yeah, I had carrots too. My garden was filled with
That's right.
carrots. I love carrots. I love to grow carrots, but they take up a lot of space and they take a long time. So I
I
didn't
love.
grow them this year. But I
Yeah,
love carrots. I just, space is
yeah,
still limited for me in some
yeah,
regard. But I was growing the peas for them because that's what I
yeah.
was doing. I was going to grow peas and carrots. Matter of fact, that whole bed was dedicated to him.
To him.
Everything that was growing over there, I planned to feed him. And at the
Yeah,
time, there was like this huge breakout with the baby food and how it was unsafe. So I got inspired to make a video based off of that, and I just went out there. I harvested the peas, brought them inside, shelled them, cooked them, mashed them up, and at the end of the video, if you hung around to the
baby
end,
boy.
you got to
Yes.
see you got to
Yeah.
see baby boy. I fed him the peas,
Tearing it up. He was
and he
tearing it
loved
up.
it. And it was all super fresh because I shot the video, and then like it all happened in real time. It wasn't like I did one part, went back a couple. No, I like that day it was raining, and I
Yes.
still,
Yes.
I had my camera, I had to put my long lens on so I could still get the shot. But it was raining. I went out there, I harvested the stuff and brought it inside, mashed it up, and I mixed it up with my wife's breast milk too. So I
Yes,
put a
sure
little bit of
did.
breast milk in
Sure
there
did.
and
Yes, you
mashed
did.
it up real good and fed it to him. He loved it. He
I
loved it.
think for me it was the feeling of the video for me. It was
It was the wife cried. She shedded a
yeah.
tear. She shedded a tear.
It
Gardening
just
took on a whole new meaning for us in that
yeah,
moment.
it
It
was the
really did.
feeling
Yeah.
of it. It's like,
Yeah.
dad goes, he grow the peas and he go out there and he harvest, clean it, cook it, and there go baby uh enjoying.
Yeah,
It's
ready to eat.
just an amazing thing to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Really
I can't
was.
wait to have him outside with me walking this year because last year
You
I
will
was carrying him all
be.
year. he was he was out there with me all the time, but he was, just looking
Yeah.
around. But now he's walking. So it's gonna be
Mhm.
cool to just have him back there with me. And he got his own little lawnmower too. So like I'm
Cool.
looking forward to it. Yeah.
Let
Yeah.
turf, let turf.
Little
Yeah.
turf. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. So, do anybody have any questions for me or turf before we get up out of here? Because y'all, it's supper time.
Mm, mm. What you having for dinner tonight?
Well, I cooked jambalaya
Mm,
and fish.
mm,
So I have my fish. It's already in
mm.
seasoning, and I'm gonna fry it. But my
Hmm.
jambalaya is waiting for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna need most of that. I'm go ahead and box up most of that. That's what I'll
Yeah,
be putting. I'll be saying, let me get most of that. That's
yeah,
not some of that because you know how somebody say, let me get some of that. Nah,
yeah.
let me
Let
get
me
most of that.
most of that. Yeah. So, yes, as a mess garden say, I put seeds out a little earlier and use plastic jugs, okay, to cover them like a little greenhouse. What do you call that? What do you call that?
Hmm?
Something sowing.
What's that?
When you put seeds in a jug. Nikki did it.
Oh, it's called dormant seeding. Well, it's a
No.
form of dormant. So, but I know that's those milk what cold frame. It's a sort of cold frame. I
Yeah.
got a whole bunch of them out there too. Um, the same kind of style where you put them in the milk jugs and you kind of let nature
Mhm,
do its thing.
mhm.
I
Yeah.
got a whole bunch of I got nasturtiums coming up. I did most of my flowers like winter sowing. I think
Winter sowing.
is what
Yeah.
Latarsha said. Yeah, winter
Yeah.
sowing.
Winter
Okay,
sowing.
yeah,
That's what it's called.
good. And that's good for a lot of things that are hard to germinate too. That kind of need to experience a winter, like
Hmm.
rosemary and lavender. I found that they do good for winter sowing, like experiencing some sort of winter before they germinate. Because what is it called when they need to be uh, cold stratification? So if
Yeah.
you ever see a seed and on the packet, it recommends you doing a cold
Oh,
stratification to the seed.
hmm.
Just winter sow them, put them in
Yeah.
milk jugs, and do a
Yeah.
winter sowing, and
Yeah.
you'll be in a
Definitely.
good place. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. LGGG Green Heart Love says Meatless Monday was a success.
Wonderful, baby.
Yeah,
Wonderful. Awesome.
yeah.
All right.
Winter
Your
summer.
weekend
Yeah.
gardener. Hey, baby. Hillside Urban Garden say, if your plants are by the window, would opening a window do the same as a fan would?
Yeah, ideally they would.
Yeah.
The only concern I have with the window action is one, you forgetting you have your window open, temp drops, and it's not good for those seedlings.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they're warm seeds,
Mm-hmm.
warm season. But other than that, and then the other thing is, I don't know about you guys, but for me, that glass tends to intensify heat.
Eat. Oh boy.
So I
Yeah.
would be cognizant of that. Like make sure that you pull that window up enough to where that glass isn't magnifying the heat and then it
Eat.
burns
Yeah.
up your ceilings.
Yeah.
But that could work. I mean, you could pick up a little $10 clip fan from old Amazon
Mm-hmm.
and I think that would be much safer. But if you rather, save your coins for something else, I ain't mad at you. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
just I would be aware. Those are the two things I'd be concerned about. Temperature not agreeing with the variety of seedlings, or two, the sun being intensified through that glass and smoking out your seedlings. Just something to think about.
So Brent Michael said, I noticed my seedlings aren't growing anymore. I give them fertilizers once a week. I water them and I have a fan on them. Can someone help me with this?
Um,
Give them some molasses. I would.
are your
Molasses,
seedlings inside
yeah,
or
it
are they
seemed like when you're
outside?
saying they inside.
Because if they're inside, your seedlings. Another thing that it could be, if
Mm.
if you feel like you have those culture practices under control, meaning you're watering, you're feeding.
He said he feeding them once a week, fertilizer. That's
I'm thinking the
mm,
issue may be the light source
yeah,
at this point. Maybe you're not keeping light on them long enough, or the light source that you have was only good to get them to germinate into the certain point of growth they're at. And now they're kind of just, hanging out. And then some things kind of do this sprout and pout phase, like peppers. I don't
mm.
know about y'all, but like when my peppers start, they seem like they moving so slow in the beginning.
Peppers does that, and I don't think you should get alarmed if it's not moving, especially if it's peppers.
Because one day I turn around and them things, my eggplants do that too. One
Yeah.
day the eggplants, it's like, man, y'all ain't gonna do nothing. What are y'all doing? And then I turn around, the eggplant is 3 times its size. Cucumbers too. I see that happen. Tomatoes jump.
So
You
when I
gotta,
say give them molasses, and this is something I have done, of course, never with seeds inside because that is not something I do. But if I have a plant outside and every day I go out there and she ain't doing nothing, she just looking at me, I'm looking at her, she's looking at me, and I'm like, no, baby, we got to do something. So I give her just maybe like I have a teaspoon of molasses with like a gallon of water, just a little to shake her. And next thing you know, my plants is moving in the
yeah,
right
yeah,
direction.
yeah. You could definitely give that a try. And then
It's
someone else
just
said a
something I
good
do. Mhm.
LGGG. She said maybe seedlings are ready to for a up pot.
True.
That could be the case. But usually they'll start showing signs of they'll start to regress in some form as well. Like when they're outgrowing their space, you start seeing the lower leaves curl or
Curl or something
die,
like that.
you know, be,
Yeah.
or they're starting to droop because, it's all roots in the container and they're just hungry for water, water, water. Those usually come accompanied by a couple other signs. Hillside Urban Garden says, I live in Michigan. What heat? If you're referring to the whole window thing, you don't need, so it could be cold outside.
Mhm.
And if the sun is out
Yeah.
and your window panes can still magnify that heat,
Mhm.
the sun rays at that point, not really heat, but that's what if that's what you're talking about, that's still funny. But because I think y'all just got 2 feet of snow like 2 weeks ago up there. It's like winter won't leave y'all alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, baby, thank you. Thank you, honey.
been seeing a lot of roly polies in my raised beds and greenhouses. Yeah, I
Moisture
got roly.
is some
Yeah,
moisture is somewhere.
yeah.
Also, there is some um, dead matter or dying matter or dead leaves or moisture, dead leaf, compost, whatever. It's
Hmm.
there. So that just you have to get rid of that moisture. It's a standing moisture.
Hmm.
And that is what's
Hmm.
keeping the because if you think about it, sometimes if you like in a grow bag, you raise up if they have leaves in it or something, and you raise that up, and you see all these roly polies, it's moisture in there, or they're eating on a dying plant. So if you have a dying plant, you got to get her out of there because she is now food for the bugs, and the bugs can smell it, and that's why they come.
I'm looking.
What?
Okay, no, never mind. I think someone answered it. Yeah, yeah. I think we're good. Cool. Yeah.
Oh,
The chat's helping each other.
I know, and
And
it
yeah,
happens all the time, and I love it.
it's
But
supposed to snow there
Mars
tonight. My
family
goodness.
says, "T, I need to pull up for some of that jambalaya." I know that's right, my love.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. All right. So, what else? Do you have anything else you want to say before we get up out of here, nephew?
As
When can
always.
we expect you back? You stay
Back to America.
no back here, right here in this little
Oh, here on
here.
the square.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
go back to work. I go back to work in a couple weeks, and then my parents will be here in May. So maybe in May. If not in May, definitely in June.
Mm.
Definitely in June. I can say that. So if not in May, definitely in June because I'll be back on leave in June for a couple weeks. So yeah, but in May I'll be on leave for a week in May. So I may jump on with you in May, depending on what's going on here
So
at the house.
can you tell everybody about the promotion that you had?
Oh, well, I'm an E8 Master Sergeant now.
Yeah, you
Um,
go.
there's only there's only one other rank to get for a non-commissioned officer in the Army, and it's E9. And I'm not hanging around for it. I know what they're going to do though. On my way out, they're going to dangle it in front of me. They'll be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, so you made the sergeant majors list." And I'm be like, "Oh, okay, I'm retiring." that's, that's
So
how that's going to go.
how
But
long have you been in the military?
17 years next month.
Wow.
So yeah, I got it right before I hit my 17 years. So that's my high three. I'm done. That's it. I was happy at E7 to be honest, but E8, I think they say out of all, I think it's like 5 or 6% of all non-commissioned officers are able to make it to E8. So uh, I'm just happy to be one of the 5 to 6% who cut the mustard to make it to E8. And yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Pretty big deal. It's a monumental move in my career. But I'm not too worked up about it to be honest. T, I'm ready to finish closing this chapter
Yeah.
respectfully.
Uh-huh.
Not that I'm not having fun with it anymore. It's just I got my own personal
Yeah.
ambitions in the new chapter of my life with the family opening up. Those are the things I really want to put first and foremost. I never really wanted to raise kids in the military, which is why, we took our time. Me and the wife, we took our time. We've been married for 10 years this year. Um, and we're just now having kids. So we really wanted to, take our time, enjoy our marriage, mature some as well individually. before we had children, and then I never really wanted to raise a family in the military. Moving them around. I have childhood friends, and when you move around a lot and you're a military child, any military brat in here can attest. It's hard to keep up with friends, not because you don't want to, but it's just hard because
Yeah.
you're moving around. I mean, take us for example. I moved to Germany, and we don't talk nearly as much as we used to. We
No.
used to be, you
Yeah.
know, lock and step,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, a couple times a day, but switch the time zones up.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep in touch with people. So,
Yeah.
throw a couple babies in the mix and it's hard.
Oh
So,
boy. And when
yeah,
baby sleep, mommy and daddy sleep too. They got to get it in.
yeah, yeah, somebody's sleeping for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's where I'm at. So I've over accomplished what I set out to do here in the military, and I'm just ready to finish serving honorably and then move on to the next chapter of my life. That's where I'm at with it. Yeah.
Well, I'm very proud of you, and it's just amazing. It really
Thank you.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that while running a YouTube channel, gardening, and keeping the best lawn in Germany.
Hey, I know. Oh, speaking of your lawn, I
And
remember when you first got there, and now that lawn is amazing. Oh,
yeah,
it's
it's the talk of the town.
really.
It's the talk of the town. Yeah, even people at work know about it.
Oh, okay.
So, oh, we heard you got the best lawn in Germany. I'm like, dang, how did you? I don't even live by you, man. It's like, oh, everybody's
Yeah.
raving about it. Local nationals talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I enjoy it and finding balance between all of that. I know that you don't see me in your comments for familiar faces. Look, y'all just understand that I'm still watching, if not all, most of y'all. I set up a queue, I throw it on the TV, or I'm
Yeah.
driving, and I let it play. I make sure I hit the like button as soon as it drops. But I got two kids under the age of 2. They're almost Irish twins,
Yes,
So
exactly,
we
exactly.
chose to do that. But again, we're in Germany, different time zone. We don't have family here to help us. We
Yeah,
got military family and friends, but it's not the same. So
yeah, yeah,
um life is different for me. So just bear
yeah.
with me. We'll be back soon, and before you know it, I'll be around a lot more often.
All right,
Uh
all
yeah.
right. Miss Harrison, thank you, my baby. Thank you, sweetheart.
Oh yeah, no
And
problem.
I'm gonna pass it on to Turf for the babies. Okay? Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna do it. But anyway, man, I thank you for being here. As always, as always.
Mm-hmm.
I thank
Mm-hmm.
you all in the chat. I love you
Thank you.
all,
Thank
and
you.
we'll be back here on Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday. Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, any parting words?
Love y'all. Y'all stay safe, stay blessed. If you participate, happy
Yeah.
Holy Week to you.
Amen.
Um, y'all enjoy life. Enjoy life, enjoy each other. Continue to love each other, care for each other like y'all been doing tonight in the chat. And
Yeah.
stay blessed. That's all I got for you.
Everybody saying congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah. Just beautiful. Absolutely. All right, guys. We love you all, and we'll see each other
you.
Sunday
Sunday.
on the next video. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Later, y'all.
Peace. Do 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 do.